Welcome back to the second part of emphysema. We have already discussed about the definition of emphysema and types of emphysema. Today we are going to discuss about what is the pathogenesis or what is the mechanism due to which your emphysema develops. There are two theories related to it. The one is protease anti-protease theory, that is related to AAT, that is alpha antitrypsin deficiency, and other is oxidant antioxidant imbalance. To understand this thing, that is, there are certain enzymes that are continuously being released in the alveolar spaces, and this particular enzyme, that is alpha antitrypsin, neutralizes those enzymes so that the uniformity of alveoli is maintained. But in case if this particular enzymes gets deficient, then that lead to destruction of the alveolar wall, and that destruction would obviously lead into development of emphysema. Whereas oxidant and antioxidant imbalance can also lead to emphysema. What are oxidants? They are reactive oxygen species that are released during certain metabolic processes of the cell. These are actually a stress species that creates stress, and that due to that presence or the presence of these oxidant, that can lead into destruction of alveolar wall. Whereas antioxidants are those chemicals which are present or may be manufactured in order to neutralize the oxidants. So if there is imbalance between oxidants and antioxidants, it will also lead to emphysema. So here is a pictorial diagram which explains you how this is occurring. It's a two-phase diagram. We have one more continuing diagram in this. Let us understand. So as we discussed, that the prominent cause of development of emphysema is smoking, and this releases lot of carbon particles. These carbon particles and vapors, when inhaled, they reach into the alveolar space. Now what is happening? Alveolar macrophages and polymorph neutrophils, they have this function of phagocytosis of these carbon particles. So what they are doing is, these are the polymorphs and the macrophages, they are digesting those dust particles. So not the dust, the smoke particles coming into the alveoli. Now what will happen after this? This is normal mechanism whenever a person smokes cigarette. So the particles will enter into the alveoli and the neutrophils and macrophages will phagocytize them. Now what happens next? That is, these polymorph neutrophils, they also contain protease containing granules. What they contain is protease containing granules. Now due to this, what happened? That is phagocytosis of those dust particles. There are lot of oxidants that gets released, and due to these oxidants that are getting released, what they will cause is, they will cause this protease released into the alveolar spaces. Now in order to neutralize these proteases, which are basically will destroy the elastic tissue of alveoli, alpha antitrypsin, which is an elastase inhibitor, usually comes to the rescue. Now due to or excess of smoke and dust particles present in the alveoli, these neutrophils and the macrophages get overloaded and they release many oxidants. These oxidants in turn will inactivate alpha 1 antitrypsin. Also, there can be other genetic reasons due to which deficiency of alpha 1 antitrypsin can occur. As these are inhibitors of elastase, which are released in the alveolar space, so this elastase would be free to act. These elastase will digest the elastic tissue of alveoli, and so they will destroy the wall of alveoli. You can have a closer look into the diagram. It's quite simple to understand. So what is occurring? As you can see in the diagram, I will explain to you from here. Tobacco smoking releases reactive oxygen species, which are the oxidants, which in turn will inactivate antiprotease alpha-1 antitrypsin, which will cause deficiency. These nicotines will liberate interleukin and TNFs for phagocytosis. Now, if there is alpha-1 antitrypsin, and also as they are alveoli, which in turn alveolar, and this section of alveolar wall will lead into emphysema. So this diagram is self-explanatory, as you can see. So what is alpha-1 antitrypsin? You can say he is the hero which saves the destruction of alveolar wall. Where it is synthesized by the liver and macrophages. What is its role? It inhibits trypsin, thrombin, plasmin and elastase, and this is the detail of the gene which is responsible, chromosome number 14, and the gene it is present on the chromosome number 14. So for us the more important fact is it is manufactured in liver and the enzymes to which it is an antidote. So what happens once the elastic tissue of alveoli gets destroyed? After the destruction of the elastic tissue, there would be a loss of elastic recoil of the lung, which in turn causes expiratory narrowing of small airway, and it causes airflow obstruction. Also, as there is a destruction of alveolar septa, it reduces surface area for gaseous exchange, which causes hypoxia. See, many small alveoli present in the lungs, they are meant actually first for absorption, exchange of gases, and also the main reason is to increase the surface area for exchange of gases. But as the walls get destroyed, although the airspace becomes larger, but the surface area in turn will reduce, and that will cause hypoxia. So both things are there. There is an airflow obstruction during the expiration, the reason, and also there would be a reduction in the partial pressure of oxygen. So how it is happening? Expiratory narrowing of bronchioles, which causes air obstruction, and this causes underventilation. Mismatch between ventilation and perfusion can lead to chronic cor pulmonale. So, here is the reason I said you the clinical manifestation might be associated with right heart failure. So what is the reason? Because there is a mismatch between ventilation and perfusion. That is the amount of air entering into the lungs and is mismatched between the amount of air leaving the lung. So about the etiology, what are the causes? It's obviously 20 to 40% of smokers will face emphysema. Air pollution is also one of the reason. That is, if a person is a non-smoker but is highly exposed to dust particles, coal particles, or any occupational disease which is related to fine particles present in the air. Also, as I said, there can be a deficiency of alpha-1 antitrypsin. This deficiency might be due to some genetic disorder and some inherited diseases like cutis laxa, Marfan syndrome, and Manx syndrome. Now, what is these inherited diseases? See, these inherited diseases, I will show you some pictorial diagrams of what exactly are these genetic disorders. These genetic disorders are basically related to synthesis of elastin protein, which gives a texture to the skin and other organs, and also a firmness to the organs present in our body. Now, these inherited disease will not only affect the lungs, but in fact they will affect the whole body wherever elastin protein plays an important role. So, main reason is smoking, air pollution, and this deficiency. In rarest of cases, genetic disorders can also cause emphysema. Now, this is cutis laxa. This picture itself is explanatory. That is, the elastin protein present in skin here is deficient, and you can see the skin of these babies to be very much wrinkled or hanging, such that type of that of the old people. Even you can see here, this person is trying to stretch his skin, and the extent to which the person can pull the skin is too high, and this is due to lack of elastin and collagen protein. So this is a genetic disorder called cutis laxa. This is Marfan syndrome, and it's quite explanatory. You can see the amount or the extent to which the person is pulling up the skin, and this obviously is due to less of collagen and elastin protein. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, again you can see there is no firmness in this particular joint, and this is also representation of lack of connective tissue or malfunctioning connective tissue. Other types of emphysema, they are contemporary emphysema first. Second is senile, that is related to age. Obstructive overinflation, that is, as we have seen, there is an obstruction in cases of COPD, or if the expiration is not possible to a full extent, or there is some obstruction in the airway, it causes overinflation, that is overstretching of alveoli. That can also lead into emphysema. Bullous emphysema and interstitial emphysema. What is interstitial emphysema? That can be due to severe cough or trauma to the chest. Interstitial emphysema, that would be any injury to the chest wall, or if a person is suffering from recurrent cough which is deep seated, or the origin for the cough is too down in the lungs, that can also cause interstitial. Bullous emphysema, that is, what is bullous emphysema? This bullous emphysema is a swollen area that can be visualized lungs. It is like an overinflated balloon like structure. So what is bullous emphysema? That is subpleural air-filled cystic area. Then obviously size is more than 1 centimeter. Its location may be anterior margin and apices. Complication, rupture and pneumothorax. So bullous is an overinflated area of alveoli. Its size is of more than 1 centimeter, and it may cause a complication of rupture or pneumothorax. So you can see this darkened area are actually the bullous emphysema. So they are peripheral, more related to the pleural cavity, and in cases they can rupture and cause pneumothorax. Here also you can see these structures here. They are representation of bullae in the peripheral region. You won't find any bullae here in the central region, rather they are located on the peripheral region, as they have margin or a flexibility to expand in the pleural spaces. Now we come to the clinical picture. We'll discuss about the clinical picture, its diagnosis in the next part. Thank you.